Basic appraisal procedures, page 166. Do not misunderstand. The sales comparison approach is still valid in a commercial assignment, given sufficient comparable sales data is available. Commercial properties do not usually transfer as frequently or in the same numbers as residential properties, presenting a major obstacle at times. Truly comparable sales data may be difficult to find for some property types in certain geographic areas. This could, in some cases, lead the appraiser to use older sales data or data from a different market. Hence, the sales comparison approach may lose reliability as a credible way of developing a value opinion if more reliable methods can be developed. You will find the income approach and sometimes the cost approach relied on a great deal more in the appraisal of non-residential properties. Land valuation. In Chapter 4, we looked at 3 methods of developing an opinion of land value in residential applications. It is important to understand any of those methods can be, and often are, used for non-residential properties as well, especially the sales comparison approach. Here, we introduce 2 additional methods most often employed for land valuation in non-residential assignments. Land residual method. The land residual method attributes a certain portion of the net income produced by a property to the building or other improvements, and then attributes the remaining residual income to the land using an income capitalization method. Step number 1. Determine the contribution of the improvements. Estimate the value of the improvements. Allocate the net income attributable to the improvements. Step 2. Determine the net income attributable to the land. Subtract the income attributable to the improvements from total net income. Residual net income will be attributable to the land. Step 3. Determine land value. Apply direct capitalization of the net income to the land. Use market-derived capitalization rate. Land value is then added to improvement value for total property value. Page 167. Use of the land residual method. The land residual method is primarily used in highest and best use analysis for testing the feasibility of other land uses. It is sometimes also a very valuable check or verification of other income appraisal methods. Weaknesses of the land residual method. The land residual method relies on many critical variables that require judgment regarding the improvement value and establishing the proper allocation of net income to the improvements. Also, the capitalization rate of both buildings and the land must be extracted from the market. The improvement value must be accurately established. Ground rent capitalization method. It is common in most areas to find tenant-owned buildings situated on leased land in commercial scenarios. Another common circumstance is leased farmland. The ground rent capitalization method uses a market-derived capitalization rate to convert 1 year's net income from ground rent to a value for the subject property. Ground rent is the amount paid to occupy and use of the land. Step number 1. Analyze comparable site or land sales. Lease terms should be similar to the subject. Net income should reflect a typical market. Comparable sales should reflect arm's length transactions. Step 2. Derive the overall capitalization rate from the comparables. Divide the net income by the sale price to find the capitalization rate. Step 3. Apply the overall capitalization rate to the subject's net income. Divide the net income by the rate to find the value, ERV. Use of the ground rent capitalization method. The ground rent capitalization method is a common primary method for appraising sites or land for which the highest and best use or most logical use is as an income-producing property. This approach is often used for agricultural land and high-profile commercial parcels. In some areas where the value of a residential site is very high, such as coastal areas or more resort-oriented locations, residential sites might be leased, with the lessee building. Important points. The income approach may likely be concluded as the best indicator of value in a commercial appraisal assignment rather than the sales comparison approach. This is because it may be difficult to gather comparable sales data due to lower frequency of commercial property transfers. 2 additional valuation methods are used specifically for non-residential properties. 1. Land residual method. 2. Ground rent capitalization method.